All right, everybody, this is one heck of a way to wrap a weekend. I just had to rewrite my entire first segment of my show for you guys because Marjorie Taylor Greene literally just posted that she is quitting Congress effective pretty much immediately. I'm going to watch the entire thing with you here in a second. I'm genuinely kind of flabbergasted on that one. It caught me off guard. But there's lots of other things that are happening. But make no mistake, what's happening right now behind the scenes is incredibly important for you guys to understand from the Republican Party's perspective. You are about to walk through something that I think we have not seen yet, and we're going to go through it together. So as you guys get in here, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. We are grinding with hope for the future, and I hope that you are here with me because we're going to save this country together. This is just the trials and tribulations before we get to where we're going. All right, guys, listen. I see you filtering in here. The emojis, the chats, the comments, all the engagement is what makes these notifications go out because God knows the septum ring-wearing blue hairs aren't doing it. So let's get in here. I see all you guys flying in. Okay, this is crazy. Okay, audio and video, good stuff. We have got 500 people. We are just going to go right up to the races. All right. This is a very important point, guys. I'm getting all my bearings here. This is a very important point that we are at right now. You have to understand what's happening. This does not happen a lot. You just had a effective... The best way I can possibly describe this in the last week is a full-on schism, a conclusion to the schism, and now a conclusion of the power bases that we're establishing. Okay, so Marjorie Taylor Greene just called it quits. She just posted it to her X account. I'm going to show you the video. They just passed all the Epstein file language. They just passed the bill through the Senate, the House, and the White House. Literally, you just watched a schism occur, and now you're seeing the finality or the conclusion or the culmination of this. There's something happening. A couple of days ago, I'm just going to give you high level, and then we're going to walk through all this. I got polling. I got all sorts of stuff for you. This is a really important show. A couple of days ago, I showed you how I was leaking out that the Bush dynasty was trying to make a play once Trump administration was over back to Republican politics as normal. And then this drops. Marjorie Taylor Greene bounces out. Y'all, I'm telling you, there is some coalescing going on right now. Let's get right into it. You guys, of course, can follow me on X at Braden LOA. Let's dive right in. Of course, I've always bring you an appetizer right up front. And what would be better than a beautiful appetizer of, you know what? I'm not going to say what this is, but Jasmine Crockett decided to turn on her phone again. And if this is not something that wets your whistle for the video that we're about to endure together, I don't know what does. Behold, the Congresswoman, the visionary, the illuminated one from the Democrat Party, Jasmine Crockett. Listen to this code switching. All right, let's go.
Because I'm sorry, but like we don't have ethical like rules that say that you can't receive text messages or you can't respond to text messages, especially if somebody has a certain record and you can't do it in committee. We all be sitting on our phones, and yes, people be texting. I mean, our staff text us, like everybody texts us, like people. I remember when I had the bleach blonde situation, you know who was texting me? My pastor. Okay. So like, let me be clear. There is no ethical violation. And so the idea or the audacity to decide that you want to strip a Black woman of her committee assignment because she was texting with Epstein, because I'm sorry, but like we don't have
I'm sorry I had to make y'all go through that, but if that was not the appetizer to make you roll your eyes, I don't know what was. I've got to know who is giving her the advice to do code switching down to that level of communication, because it makes the Democrat Party look real shitty. I'm going to be honest with you. It looks real bad. But by all means, keep on going. You know, their loss is our gain. But let's keep on going, guys. The emojis, the chats, the commentary. Here is the opener. And by the way, all those things help the emojis go out, the notifications go out, and the engagement for the stream. That is indeed Marjorie Taylor Greene. That is indeed her account on X. And this is her resignation that she dropped about an hour ago. Okay, watch this. Again, guys, spread this stuff out. This is breaking.
Hi, everyone. I've always represented the common American man and woman as a member of the House of Representatives, which is why I've always been despised in Washington, D.C., and just never fit in. Americans are used by the political industrial complex of both political parties, election cycle after election cycle, in order to elect whichever side can convince Americans to hate the other side more. And the results are always the same. No matter which way the political pendulum swings, Republican or Democrat, nothing ever gets better for the common American man or woman. The debt goes higher, Corporate and global interests remain Washington's sweethearts. American jobs continue to be replaced, whether it's by illegal labor or legal labor by visas or just shipped overseas. Small businesses continue to be swallowed by big corporations. Americans' hard-earned tax dollars always fund foreign wars, foreign aid, and foreign interest. And the spending power of the dollar continues to decline. The average American family can no longer survive on a single breadwinner's income, as both parents have to work in order to simply survive. And today, many in my children's generation feel hopeless for their future and don't think they will ever realize the American dream. And that.
All right. Now, this is a very important point, and we're going to have some conversations right here, guys. It might be tough conversations, but we're going to have some conversations, because I see right over here, some people like Chase Bonsai said she's right. She's right in certain aspects, absolutely. There are certain aspects of what she just said, which is true. There's lots of things that there are lots of things that people are very disgruntled with. 100%. I'm disgruntled with a lot of it. I'm not in love with a lot of it. 100% I'm not. But I also know the solution is not to wrap up. The solution is not to bounce out. Now, I'm not throwing shade. Don't take this the wrong way. I'm not throwing shade at anybody. That's their own personal choice. I'm just telling you from my perspective. I have been demonetized 3 times in my career on this channel. I have been shadow banned on this channel. I have been, I get the other stuff doesn't matter. I can't really say that stuff, but I've had consequences too. Like, we all have the consequences of it, right? I'm not playing my little violin, but the point is, you don't give up. Like that's one of the hallmarks of American resiliency. Like the part of that exceptionalism that I fully believe in is we don't just go, this is what always happens and it always, that's not my own personal vibe. But she's right in a lot of aspects, but in my opinion, there's something that she's missing, which is a little more broad. And we'll get into this. I'm not trying to nitpick her. I'm just saying the part about the American dream devolving and the American dream getting too expensive and individual breadwinners can't fund a household, that's not necessarily a feature and function of individual policies of individual parties. That's falling off the gold standard. That's just the matter of inflation and the devaluation of the dollar that's tied to the global currency and the petrodollar. That's a different thing completely. But anyway, let's keep on going. Because I'm not okay with it. I'm not happy with it. But we can fix it. Like that's kind of my point. That's kind of my thought. Let's keep on going. Sorry to soapbox you.
Breaks my heart. I ran for Congress in 2020 and have fought every single day believing that Make America Great Again meant America first. I have one of the most conservative voting records in Congress, defending the First Amendment, Second Amendment, unborn babies, because I believe God creates life at conception, and I love to fight for the little guy. Strong, safe borders, I have fought hard for that. I've fought against COVID tyrannical insanity and mandated mass vaccinations, and I've never voted to fund foreign wars with your hard-earned tax dollars. However, with almost 1 year into our majority, the legislature has been mostly sidelined. We endured an 8-week shutdown, wrongly, resulting in the House not working for the entire time, and we are entering campaign season, which means all courage leaves and only safe campaign re-election mode is turned on in the House of Representatives. During the longest shutdown in our nation's history, I raged against my own speaker and my own party for refusing to proactively work diligently to pass a plan to save Americans' health care and protect Americans from outrageous, overpriced, and unaffordable health insurance policies.
All right, now what she's doing is she's going down what she's done, where she's been, and what she's basically her accolades and bona fides, right? I personally believe, because this is a straight up resignation, okay? I personally believe that what you're going to see from her is some other sort of move outside of Congress. That's fine. It'll be determined. That doesn't really matter. But the bottom line is, if you're in Congress already, I don't know. Like, to me, my stance on this is if you're already there, like, you're already in a position to start to make the change. I understand it's a quagmire cesspool. I understand that. But it is interesting to me that she clashed with Trump, she clashed with the White House, she clashed with the Speaker of the House and other Republicans. Genuinely, when you lose a fight like that politically, you don't typically bounce back too easily. Again, I'm not devaluing what she says. We're just kind of going through this. But what she's doing here, and I'm not going to play the whole 11 minutes. That's just too much. We got lots of other stuff to get to. She's going down the frustrations that a lot of you feel. And candidly, or at least I think you feel. Let me know over here in the content right over here. See, even right now, see, you guys are already ripping it over here too. See, a lot of you guys are talking about. Okay, Braden, you get a plane landing for this one. Thank you. A lot of you guys are talking about she's got a contract with The View now, and a lot of you are saying, how much is she worth? How much money did she make? She clashed with the fraud. So this is the thing. And honest to God, this is a very good synopsis. So make sure you guys are watching this chat completely. Because what you're seeing is you're seeing two different sides of this coin. And to me, it represents and fulfills everything that I'm about to show you in the rest of this. I know you're frustrated. I'm frustrated. We're all frustrated. But the main point, and I kind of alluded to this in some of my X posts today, we can't go down the road, and this, you guys can let me know if I'm over the target or not. If I'm landing the plane, just tell me. My own personal take on this: we can't go down the road of further schisms inside the Republican Party or conservative or MAGA, whatever you identify yourself as, whatever. You're not Democrat or Team Blue, right? Any version of Team Red, right? We can't have these splits. We can't have these people who need to be kicked out or not kicked out, get every single idea on the table, parse it out through the court of public opinion, and then move forward in unity. That's what we have to do. So all of these big accounts and big influencers that I have no way to even compete with them, in my own personal opinion. I'm not calling any of them out. I'm just saying we got to stop this crap. Across the board, we got to stop this crap. The guarantee of the Democrat power base that is trying to take advantage of the splits that are happening is going to be worse than any one of the outcomes that one of those teams want. I'm just, objectively, that is true. We have to stay together. We cannot do the exact same thing that the left did, where they split into multiple factions, started hating on each other, and it was a nonstop purity test about who loves the country more, who loves socialism more, who loves left woke ideology more, and who's brave enough to say it or not say it. We can't do that on the right. And we're starting to make those same mistakes. And I think personally that what you're seeing right here is a symptom of that exact same thing. And again, you guys can let me know if you think this is why Langley became a senator. No, I have explored that. I've explored the office. We've had the conversations. I have explored it with existing people who are sitting in Congress, and I don't think that's the path for me. I'm going to be honest with you. But anyway, let's keep on going. We can't have the damn party backroom deals. I completely agree. Again, we're just kind of rolling. There's a frustration, and I understand it. I do. I get it. I'm raising a family. I have the exact same expenses and costs you guys do. I know how expensive everything is. And it's a fallout of COVID, and it's all the system working its way through. It happens every single time that there's a big adjustment or interruption. But the point is, we can't give up. Like we can't. I don't know. Giving up and quitting is just not in me. I can't do that for our country. I just can't do it. I'm not throwing shade at her. I personally can't do it. I'm a bit of a soapbox. It's a little emotional. I'm sorry. Try not to get too amped. I got some super chats to get to though. Hold on one second. I got to keep up these guys because you guys are diligent with them, and I must be as well. Skyrix Court for a $10 super chat. I have a feeling these super chats are going to be spicy tonight. So that's what it is. She's part of the group making money off Obamacare, huh? How much is she worth now? I don't know. I'm not doing a hit piece on her. Someone in the chat said $25 million. No idea. Some people said View. No idea. All I'm telling you is objectively, she's throwing in the towel. That's what's happening. Here's Mike EU for a $2 super chat. Says, is she resigning? Can't get tax tips Pelosi anymore. Like, again, you guys are all going down the same road. A lot of you, anyway, are going down that exact same road of money value, inside deals, insider trading, uniparty, not trusting anybody. A lot of you are going down that same road over here. But yeah, so I mean, like, there's a lot of you guys are absolutely hitting it. And here's something that someone said. Sorry, guys, we're not flowing like normal. This is more the conversational piece of the show. Natalie Herman says there is definitely something else going on. There is something else going on. Now that I know something else is happening, and I'm going to walk you through that right now. I can't tell you what's happening with Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not Nostradamus. I always say that I can tell you from my perspective, and you guys can agree or disagree. But I can tell you something is absolutely going on. David Savage with a $10 super chat said, you are 100% correct. Thank you, David. If the Repubs fracture, we are done. MTG needs to STFU. Now, Of course, you guys know what STFU means. This is the thing. It's not about people not expressing themselves or not having conversations or not bringing ideas to the forefront of the debate table. The left cancels, the left controls, the left dictates. We have to have full-on conversations with each other and let the public decide what is the best way through the battlefield of ideas and the articulation of our points. Right? There are some points out there right now that I personally find all on the right, and I'm not going to tell you which ones. You guys can do whatever you want with that. There are some points that I see on the right now that are growing, particularly in the younger demographics, that are abysmally bad, that are incredibly asinine, that are incredibly short-sighted, awfully stupid, and very, very poor decisions. But that doesn't mean I'm going to tell them to be censored and shut up. I'm going to bring them into the conversation and then soundly defeat them with my ideas, in my opinion. But anyway, another super chat. Sean Browning, 616, says she should just finish her term, especially now. Probably. I mean, yeah, more of this will come out. The news is going to go crazy on this. But anyway, let's go into this because something else is going on. Sorry, I got a little bit distracted. See, the super chats, I knew it. Super chat from Skyrex Core, $5 super chat, said, found it. When Marjorie Taylor Greene went in, she was worth $700,000. Now she is worth $25 million. Jim Combat Vet, $5 super chat. We are in an asymmetrical civil war, our American way versus Marxist totalitarianism. I mean, honestly, I can't really argue against that point. That's a good point, Jim. Skyrex, I have not confirmed that. So you guys, that is the chat that brought forward. I cannot vouch for that. Tim, or the Houdini for $1.99 says people, perhaps she's just tired of the bull excrement. I mean, probably. Just saying. Just saying. All right. See, even right there, Stephen Marsh says MTG is no real loss. Again, this is the whole point. You're seeing a power structure play shift right now. That's what you're seeing, and it starts right here. Guys, we're going to walk through this, and we're going to just kind of piece this together because, again, my entire show before this episode went live, my entire show was just rewritten and redrafted when Marjorie Taylor Greene just dropped this. Okay? She's out the door. So now that changes everything, adds another piece to the puzzle. Here's another piece. This is 3 or 4 days ago. Again, let me hear you in the comments, chats, emojis. Please engage with all that you can because this is how you spread this message out. This is how we save everything, to be honest. George W. Bush plans to reclaim the Bush family's control of the Republican Party following Trump's second term, per the Daily Mail. Now, we talked about this a couple days ago. I think the videos run so close together and the days run together. I think it was 2 or 3 days ago this started dropping about the Bushes wanting to take back control of the party. Now, you guys remember, because I'm sure you do, because you guys are my age, or wiser. The Bush era was very elitist. It was very backroom deals. It was very Republicans' turn, Democrats' turn. It was very good old boy. I mean, it was very like, good God, can we just move past this? Now, Trump is a catalyst, a counter to that, in my opinion. He is part of the shakeup of the entire thing, the entire dynastic struggle dynastic system that is now struggling under the Trump populism is the reason they hate him on the Republican side. But this was an interesting little piece because when you look at this, and then you piece all this stuff together with Marjorie Taylor Greene throwing in the towel, Bush tries to make a play in 3 years when Trump's gone, and then you have these little things. Now, again, you guys know how I do these videos. You know how I do this channel. I send out a huge web. We have tons of resources and assets. We have employees. We have lots of overhead and infrastructure that goes out and accumulates all of this together. And every little bit of tug on that spider web goes back to a centralized point. And this right here is the other piece to this. This is the other side. I think that there is a battle for the soul of the direction of the Republican Party going on right now in the back end of it right here. Okay? Watch this. This is J.D. Vance. And by the way, before I play this, I'm just going to say something real. It might be controversial. It might not. You know what? Time for some more truth. And time for some observations. You can tell me if you agree or not. Claiming truth is questionable for me. So here's the thing. Right now, you have a position where midterms and anytime Trump is not on a ballot, the Republican turnout is low. That's not an insult. That's not a bad thing to say. That is an objective fact. So if Trump is not the motivator for Republicans, Trump is still the motivator for liberals and Democrats. I promise you. So if Trump is still the motivator for the lefties, and he's not the motivator for the righties because he's not on the ballot, you've got a bit of a problem with turnout. And that's what you're about to see J.D. Vance talk about. He's about to do something that the entire Republican Party needs to get behind, in my personal opinion. You guys can let me know what you think in the chat, because this is what setting a vision is. This is what setting goals and outlines and achievable metrics looks like, versus own the libs. And I want to hear, I'm going to do this like Stephen A. Smith. I made a joke about this the other day. Watch this. This is the Stephen A. Smith presentation style. You can go on and say that you want to own the libs, but what are you going to do for everybody else? Because that's important. Pretty good, right? All right. Sorry, I just had to break it up with a little bit of energy. This is the whole point. And what I said was true. I just used his delivery style. This is what you're about to see is what you need to see more of. Watch this. This is the battle in the soul we're talking about. Loving the emojis, chats, the engagement. Thank you so much, guys. Let's get it. J.D. Vance, Vice President.
The American people don't want stupid wars and America's jobs going overseas and wide open borders. That is, whether intentional or not, that was the legacy of the Republican Party that came before Donald J. Trump. I'm glad the president got us away from that Republican Party. It lost, but it was also a disaster for the United States of America.
Hold the phone. Hey, guys, if you're paying attention, that sounds a whole lot like that, doesn't it? This looks like a full-on power struggle. J.D. Vance just said that. You have George Bush saying that the Bushes are going to try to retake their claim on the dynastic control of the Republican Party straight out of Texas. And then you have Marjorie Taylor Greene echoing some of the similar things that J.D. Vance just said, only she's throwing in the towel and J.D. Vance is setting a vision. There's some stuff going on behind the scenes. Just you wait. It's about to start popping. Let's get back to J.D. Vance, then I'll catch up on these super chats. I see you guys over there. Thank you, all of you, 3,000 people in here. Thank each and every one of you for spending your time with me on Friday evening. Let's get back to it.
Let's actually have a foreign policy where we focus on the interests of American citizens. Let's have an economic policy that's about building in the United States of America rather than shipping all of our jobs overseas and getting Wall Street enriched in the process. Let's have an economic policy that's about more self-sufficiency. I mean, I have 3 kids. I have an 8.
Okay, again, I'm going to cut these a few different ways, and this live stream might be long. You know what? Sorry, we're in it for the long haul. This is an important one. What J.D. Vance just described was what you hear people saying, populism. When you hear all that little struggle of the Republican, like, honestly, it's not even the Republicans. It's the right in general, the big swath of the population. I'm not giving it Republican. I'm giving the whole right sector. The struggle between H-1B visas and supporting different countries, and this country's evil, this country runs the entire thing. We need socialism, we need nationalism, we need all of these things. No, we need economic populism, we need socialist populism. Literally everything that they're trying to hit on, J.D. Vance is actually doing it in the way that threads the needle. Okay? Again, watch what he says here, because he's actually setting the vision. The other side, the other factions are all about own the libs, own anybody who doesn't agree with me completely, which is a leftist trait and tactic. I'm going to say it because it's important enough to save our country. I'm going to say it. Dang it. All right, J.D. Vance, take it over. This is a good example.
Year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 3-year-old. I don't want to wake up in a country where I take my kid to the doctor and they can't get antibiotics because the antibiotics that were invented in the United States of America are manufactured in some foreign country. That is the legacy of the Republican Party that came before Donald J. Trump. We're not going back to it.
Did you catch that? Guys, come here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to get preachy on you. I'm not trying to get preachy on you, but I can tell you, I have about 34 years because I've been listening to politics since I was like 6 in the back of a Volvo station wagon. Okay, trust me, I heard Rush Limbaugh every single day at noon, no matter where we were, through 3 p.m. And at home, we had it on the radio. Trust me, I'm fully immersed. But what you're talking about right now is not by accident. These things don't happen by accident. J.D. Vance, 2 days after George Bush comes out and says, we're going to try to retake the power structure of the Republican Party, you don't have a J.D. Vance come out and go, that was an awful experience. We need to work back into populism. We need to walk away from the elitism. It was a terrible experience for the Republicans. We always lost and it sucked, and we're never going back. Do you think that that is a coincidence? Again, I'm not trying to get conspiratorial, but nothing happens on accident. You really think that J.D. Vance did that, the same time frame that George Bush did this, and then a day later, Marjorie Taylor Greene goes, I'm out? No, guys, that's not how this bounces. That's just not how this rolls. But anyway, let's keep on going. If you guys are enjoying the show, let me hear you in the chat, the comments. If you're new, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. I've got another one from J.D. Vance. Again, this is about vision setting. This is about setting achievable goals, smart goals. If you have a corporate job and you've had that experience, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. All right, watch. This is what J.D. Vance is setting out as a example because he's speaking genuinely what needs to be said, okay? I said something similar when the Republicans lost New Jersey and Virginia. Sure, they're blue states, but it showed something important. Watch this. You stick your head in the sand, you end up right here. All right, let's go back.
The Republican coalition in the 1990s was more upscale. They showed up in midterms. So Republicans tended to do a little bit better in midterm elections in the 1990s than, say, Republicans do today. And that's because while these working class voters are great, there are also people who don't necessarily show up to vote in the midterms all the time. We've got to motivate them. We've got to get them out to vote. I think it's one of the lessons that we learned in Virginia and New Jersey is that when Donald Trump is not on the ballot, you've got to give people something to actually believe in, something to...
Okay. I'm sorry. I hope you're still here with me. When was the last time that you heard a politician say, yep, that's what we learned from our mistake, rather than giving you some 8 different point plan of why it didn't really happen as the way you saw it happen, and then say the words, we need to give them a reason of why and to actually believe in something. Y'all, that is not common in today's politics. Think about it. You got the Democrats, Donald Trump, orange man, bad. Everything is bad. He just landed on Mars, that's bad. He just solved the national debt, that's bad. Israel, Gaza, done, that's bad because. Ukraine, Russia, going to be done, that's bad because. All the tariff money that's going to pay down the existing debt, that's bad because. It's literally nonstop. And then the Republican is, hey, look at the septum-wearing blue hair lefties. I know, I do it. Because it's ridiculously insane. Right? I try to partner everything that I do with a hope, with a vision, and with a realistic outcome. That's what he's doing. That's why I'm responding like this. Because this right here is how you lead something. You don't lead something by attacking. That's the first step. You have to follow up. For you guys who have been in my channel, in my audience, and my subscription list for a while, you know that one of my taglines, A, is vote like you're freaking losing and together we grind for our country. Those are 2. And then the other one is I'm not only going to tell you what's going on in the country, I'm also going to tell you how we're going to fix it. And you guys can let me know in the comments right over here. If you have heard me say that, please confirm it right over there. Because that is something that I say on the regular. All right, now let's go back to J.D. Vance. Again, remember, this is something he said you got to give people a belief, you got to give people a reason, and you got to have a why. Oh my God, do you really? All right, let's keep on going. This is incredibly important.
Be inspired by to get out there and vote. They're not going to vote just because you have an R next to your name. You've got to speak to this new working class coalition. And the one worry that I have when I look at so many of our great congressional allies, I do think that some of our folks in Congress, they want to go back to the Republican Party of 20 years ago. That Republican Party was a Republican Party that lost and that couldn't successfully govern the country. We need to lean into this new coalition, do a better job serving them, and that's how we get them to show up in these midterm elections so that we can win not just presidential races, but midterm races too.
Guys, I'm going to be real honest with you. I'm going to tell you a personal story, completely anecdotal, but it doesn't matter. It's the live stream. We're in this together. When I saw this clip, both of these clips today back to back, I genuinely called my father and I said, this is one of the most important moments that we've seen in the last little while, probably a couple of years. Because what this is vision setting. This is goal setting. This is painting a direction. This is overall motivating and activating people. That is important. He said you don't just vote for them because they have an R behind their name. Oh my God. You mean actually they have to do something that you want? Weird. You can't just hope and pray because this is the party of 20 years ago. Hey, oh my God, look, guys, look. There's another plug to that. That's 2 different clips that are all going back and taking little stabs at the Bush dynasty dreams. None of this happens by accident. And MTG bounces out. Y'all, I'm telling you, like there is some stuff popping off and it is bananas. I am so excited to be here in this, to use the lefties term, in this moment. How are we going to show up in this moment? Oh, I'll tell you how we're going to show up. We're going to make video after video after video. It's going to be amazing. But anyway, this is an incredibly important point. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on if you guys are new. And of course, if you are still in here in the chat, emojis, chats, and comments literally solve all the notification woes and send it out to all your friends whom you care about and love and want to join the Freedom Safari. Let's keep on going. All right. I've shown you what's happening on the right, and I'm going to hit that a lot more because I genuinely think it's an important thing to consistently hit on, because we just got to stop dividing ourselves. Now, the other side here, this is wild. I'm just going to spend some time on it. So I showed you all the things that have been going on, from the Epstein files to the shutdown to everything, and how they had nothing. And when the Epstein files backfired on the Dems and Team Blue, it turned out that they had no talking points except Orange Man Bad, right? Well, now they tried one out today, and I don't know if you saw this, but it wasn't exactly inspirational, because it turns out that Hakeem Jeffries, the leader of the Democrats, has found a way to weave climate change, climate crisis, and inequity in housing together. And that's why the housing price is so expensive, is because climate change. Again, watch.
Home ownership has become unaffordable in far too many places, ripping away the possibility of home ownership for millions of Americans. And we know that home ownership has always been central to the great American dream. And so it's incredibly important that we deal with the climate crisis, because there is only one Earth. There is no planet B. We have no other option. We have to deal with protecting God's green Earth.
So yeah, guys, I'm not sure if you're familiar, but did you know that the housing crisis and the the cost of goods and the expense of housing is because of climate crisis? Yeah. Behold our opponents. All right, I got some super chats to catch up to, guys. We have got to get into these super chats. I've been on like a soapbox over here, and I appreciate all of your patience as I deliver it. I'm trying to do my very, very best. Sorry, it's Irish Rover in Florida. Sorry, I can't say that one. Thank you for the super chat, but I can't say that one. I will not make it through the YouTube scrub machine if I say that super chat. Sorry. Night Whisper Grace, 499 super chat, said, did the Bush administration institute No Child Left Behind education policy that failed miserably? I have to look that up because I do not remember, and I don't want to quote you wrong. I will look that up, though, and I will mention it in another video. Super chat from Zara Avon, $10 super chat just got here. Any news about NFA stuff? Thanks. All right, so for you guys who are not 2A related, or the National Firearms Act is not something that you are familiar with, that's a very egregious core of all the gun control that the left uses as a foundation to push against all the rights of the American citizens. So I will be doing a video on that tomorrow. That will be coming. I'm working on the way that I want to present it, but I will be hitting that tomorrow, 100%. Thank you guys for checking up on that, though. All right, another super chat right over here. Night Whisper Grace for $9.99 said, I'm 52 years old. DEI, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion, if you guys missed that nightmare, has been existent for years by integrating city students into country public schools like they did up in Connecticut. It just it wasn't titled until recently. I don't have the personal experience, but that's good observation. Sierra Hatch 73 with a $10 super chat. I'm tired with the fighting. I'm concerned with the nursing professionals and the DOE, Department of Energy. I'm concerned with Trump magically becoming besties with Mamdani. Concerned with the violence in the cities. Honestly, Sierra, I think that's a pretty succinct way to be concerned. But honestly, you're engaged, you vote like you're losing, and you grind for your country, and you keep on spreading the message. That's literally it. You know the ideas work better. Our ideas do work better. There's proven fact they work better. You just keep on grinding. That's what we do, baby. All right. Let's get... Rabini says, calm down, patriots, and stay the course behind Trump. Let's not act like children. I believe referencing the other things that I was talking about. All right. So what I'm going to show you right now, I'm going to be honest, it's bitter medicine. It is not fun to watch. Like this part... This part sucks because it shows you the independents, okay? So I'm about to show you a 50-second clip with Harry Enton. He is the CNN data guru. I cover him all the time, but I would be disingenuous if I only covered the clips that were beneficial to Republicans and bad to Democrats if I didn't show you what was truly going on. And I will always try to be fair and balanced with you guys. I'm never just going to sugarcoat something for you. I'm not going to give you pure hate, and I'm not going to give you pure love. I'm going to give you exactly the way it sits, for my opinion. This one right here is showing the independents. Now, this is really important if you guys follow along in politics. Independents are everything. If you don't have independents, you have no power base at all. You don't get elected. It's that simple. Democrats lost independents when Kamala Harris was an unmitigated disaster for the House, Senate, and White House. If you don't have independents, you lose. It's that simple, which is why Harry Enton is getting so animated here. And this also ties into what J.D. Vance just said. Again, things are happening right now, guys. Do not miss all the details. And I'll get these super chats that are flying in here in 1 second. All right, let's get it. Take it away, Harry.
Independence. Trump's net approval rating with independents. Back in January, he was close to even. He was at -4 points. Not great, but not terrible. Look at this number. 43 points underwater with independents in the most recent average of these polls. When you have 43 points underwater with independents, you know you're doing terribly. You can't win with this. If this holds for next year's midterm election, wave adios amigos, goodbye, see you later to that House Republican majority and that Senate Republican majority very much in danger as well. When you take a look at the Pew Research validated voter survey going back to last year, he was basically even among independents with Kamala Harris. Now he is 43 points underwater. Whatever he is doing with independents, it ain't working. They despise him at this point.
That is just a cult.
All right, so that's not a good number. Now, of course, I can't vouch for the accuracy of the polling. I mean, it does seem very extreme. But when you're looking at independents specifically, not overall approval number, independents, the way you fix this is you have a vision, you have a plan, you deliver. Those three things. Now, what you're seeing there is reflecting, again, all of this is tied together. That's why this show took a minute to write together. Marjorie Taylor Greene just described the exact same things that were not happening and the frustrations of the system she had as she's on her way out. She'll probably do something else. Then you've got Bush saying we should do it my way. Then you've got J.D. Vance actually painting the vision, which is notable because the person who should be painting the vision right now, his name starts with a T and it rhymes with rump. And I don't think that's because he doesn't want to, and I don't think it's because he doesn't have the ability or the capacity to. I think you are looking at the midterm push and the 2028 ticket right here. That's what you're seeing. He's got the show, he's got the floor, he's saying the vision, he's laying it out from the VP position. It's the exact opposite of what Kamala Harris did, where she faded into non-existence and then came out and was coronated. J.D. Vance is doing it midterm. That's what you're seeing. You're seeing a power structure base happen. All right. Now, if you want to avoid these independent numbers and you want these to change, deliver on what J.D. Vance is saying. And I will say it openly and candidly. I want to win. I want to be on the winning side of this. I want to save our country and I want to make it better for our children. Do these things and this number right here will go away forever. It's that simple. Anyway, let's keep on going. I want to show you something else. Sorry, I froze this on a very bad part for Kristen Welker. There we go. Now, this is an interesting piece. And guys, I told you this show was going to be long, and I'm sorry. Just bear with me. We're going to white knuckle this, and we're going to go. Kirsten Welker just did a segment with their polling guy, okay? I believe his name's Steve Kornacki. Yeah. Listen to this, and you're going to see a very interesting trend. Again, this is all about the midterms, the impeachment palooza, and then all the 2028 ticket. That's what you're about to see. Watch this.
Weeks, we're going to get our next clues on how voters are feeling ahead of the midterms. It will come from a special election in a solidly Republican congressional district in the middle of Tennessee, one where Democrats are hoping they can pull off an upset. Former Vice President Kamala Harris even made a surprise appearance for the Democrat there this week. The first time she's joined a candidate on the campaign trail since leaving office. NBC's Steve Kornacki has more on the race at the big board.
All right, December 2nd, less than 2 weeks from now, we get our next election, our next readout
on the atmosphere as 2026 starts to come into focus. So it's a special election in the 7th Congressional District of Tennessee, sort of middle Tennessee. What are we talking about here? Well, there's downtown Nashville. There's the suburbs in Williamson County, which is right outside Nashville. And then it kind of sprawls and crawls to the west into the south to some rural areas. So sort of a mix in this district, a very Republican district. You wouldn't normally talk about this district being at all potentially competitive, except here's what's been happening in recent elections, in New Jersey here.
All right, this is really important. Guys, it's hard to overstate how important all of this stuff is and how it ties together, okay? When you're looking at what's happening on the screen right now and what you've been seeing the Democrats do over and over and over and over and over again, they've been hanging all their hopes, prayers, dreams, and anyone that they pray to, whether it's the climate or a puppy or a ficus, I don't care, whoever it is, they're hanging it all on New Jersey and Virginia. Well, we overperformed in New Jersey and Virginia. Look at us. Look at us. Look how amazing we are. We win. We win. Look how awesome we are. We're going to win forever. Blue tsunami, blue wave, blue wave. Hopium, hopium, copium, directly right into the veins. That's what you've been seeing, okay? It is a year out. Real talk. But let me show you what they're saying here. And there's a very important piece. I'm going to go on this freeze frame really quickly. You see how this says they're outperforming Harris? So Harris's polling numbers is right there on the right, and Trump's polling numbers is right there on the right. Okay? They're going to reference to that right now. And again, I want you to keep in mind this is an off-year election. Trump is not on the ballot, and they're throwing Kamala Harris firmly under the bus because they're outperforming Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris was the worst performer ever. Anyway, let's keep on going.
Democratic landslide in the governor's race, but the key was this. Look, Trump had lost this state by 6 points to Kamala Harris last year. New Jersey went up to a 14-point margin in the governor's race there. So the Democrats didn't just win. I think they overperformed relative to last year. Same thing happened in Virginia. Again, it's a blue state to start with. Harris had won this by just under 6 points last year. But again, look at this, up to 15 points here. So 2 Democratic landslides. It wasn't just Democrats won these states. It's that they won them in landslides. And this comes on the heels of what we've had 4 special elections for the House so far this year. And in all 4 of them, the Democrats have overperformed relative to 2024. In Florida, 1st District, Republicans won it by 15, but that was...
Okay, you get the idea. This is the whole point. I'm going to leave this up for a second because you have to understand what is happening. The left is, literally like copium right in the veins on New Jersey and Virginia, okay? They're looking at these House races. They are praying to God that they can somehow pull a rabbit out of their hat and make this work, okay? What you're looking at right now is comically bad. Not for Team Red, for Team Blue. I'm going to show you in a second. What you're seeing right now is a shift of what happens when Trump is not on the ballot. This is exactly what J.D. Vance was saying right here. We know through experience, and if we do not learn from that experience, when Trump is not on the ballot, we are going to experience pain. And then pain is the ultimate teacher. Trust me. My 20s prove all of that. But what you're looking at right now is something important. Watch.
Down from 37 points last year. In Florida, 6 Republicans won by 14, down from a 30-point win. Democrats carried 2 districts here, but they increased their margin relative to 2024. So again, you look at this district.
Okay, that's what I wanted him to say. What he's not telling you right there, and this is an important piece to what we've been saying a lot on this channel. I'm going to leave this actually up. I was going to switch it, but I'll leave it up. We are winning the country and the nation from the conservative perspective, whether you are MAGA, Republican, independent, leaning Republican, independent, leaning conservative, if you were traditional, whatever box you fit in that makes you feel all happy, okay? 2020 over there that he completely ignored was 2024 was an increase of 2020. The country shifted right in every single one of those years. He didn't mention that. And he didn't mention that for a very specific reason, because that entire thing is shifting directly to the right, and they had one pop that went the other direction because Trump wasn't on the ballot. Trump was on both of those ballots. Trump is not on this third one to the left. They did not talk about how the entire country shifted to the right in every single state. Arizona, Virginia, Florida, and Tennessee. Did not say a word about that because that undermines the narrative that the Democrats really want to get out there. Yes, there is a increase in support for the Democrats because they hate Trump with a passion, and there is a lack of enthusiasm on the Republicans when Trump is not on the ballot. 100% agree. The way that you get rid of that problem is you do what he just did. You set the vision, you set the goal, you set the purpose, you get alignment, you get consensus, and you drive towards it. You deliver specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, timely goals, smart goals. You do not divide amongst yourselves over who has the best version of purity-tested, right-leaning populism and destroy each other while the left is at the gates. They're already losing. There's no reason to make it easier for them to get back a foot in the game. This is like basic sports. Anyway, let's keep on going. I think I got one more thing for you that I really wanted to show you. I'm not sure if I want to... No, I think that was a good way to end it. I'll do another video on that thing I was about to show you. Listen, here's the thing. That video was 45 minutes. I meant it to be about 23. I apologize. I'm long-winded sometimes when I get passionate and get rolling. But we have 3,500 people in this chat and this stream. They've been here pretty much the whole time, and I appreciate each and every one of you for jumping in here because this is how we save this country. And I'm going to be really candid with you. I'll let you guys behind the curtain a little bit. As I have been getting more and more and more into politics broad, I'm going to start being the voice that I think that needs to happen. And some people aren't going to like it, and some people will like it. But quite candidly, we cannot continue to destroy ourselves on the right like we have been doing for the last 5 months. It's just not something that we can do. And you guys can support me in that. And I would love your feedback because your guidance is incredibly important as we go forward. But listen, I grind every single day. I know you guys do as well. You love this country as far as you can throw it, which is a really, really long way. I don't know why I said that, but you know what? You love it. That's the point. And I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I love each and every one of you. Just the right amount. Not that I would try to throw you, but I would throw you a long way.